of the motherfucking year. And you talking about you upset.
MidwestMixtapes.com, the #1 website for Midwest rap. MidwestMixtapes.com. They promote and market albums, mixtapes, singles, and videos. MidwestMixtapes.com. They can get you on DJ conference calls, blogs, and email blasts. MidwestMixtapes.com. They work with several magazines, college radio campaigns, and street teams in multiple cities.
It's going down.
Here's another exclusive interview on K100 Radio.
Oh, yeah. Let's get it.
You are tuned to K100 Radio, hip hop and
Right.
R&B.
You know what it is.
K100, you bastard.
That's up. Welcome, everybody, to K100 Radio. Again, I'm your host, Bliss, and thanks, everybody, for tuning in to the show. We are live right now for a direct line interview on K100 Radio. If you don't know what that means, that's where we get a chance to chop it up with some of our special guests. We chop it up with artists. We chop it up with producers, with DJs, people in the music industry, all kind of stuff. We also chop it up with politicians and porn stars, all kind of people, business people. Basically, this is just a one-on-one conversation with our guest that we have today. And like I said, oftentimes it is independent artists, and that's what we're going to be chopping it up with tonight. Well, today. It's still daylight out. You know, it's daylight saving time change. Everything kind of messed me up today. All right, we're going to be chopping it up with the homie Real Smooth. All right. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and bring him on the line. Real Smooth, welcome to the broadcast, homie. What's good with you?
I'm doing all right, man. How you doing, man? You doing good?
I'm doing great, man. Welcome to the show, man. I appreciate you for swinging through, man. We getting ready to chop it up, man. We're going to check out some music. You feel me? And get to know you a little bit over here on K100 Radio, man. I'm gonna cede the floor and let you go ahead and tell the people who we rocking with right now. Go ahead and introduce yourself to our listening audience, if you don't mind.
No problem, man. What's going on, man? This Real Smooth, coming live from Minneapolis, Minnesota, man. 315 representing. So yeah, man. How's everybody doing out there, man? It's a pleasure to be on the show today.
All right, brother. Welcome to the show. Round of applause one more time. So check it out, man.
Blessing.
So yo, first of all, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Sometimes, you know, when we do internet radio and we talk to people from all over the country, obviously, sometimes all over the world, right? And so sometimes we talk to people from places I've never been. But I've actually been to Minneapolis a couple of times. I've got family up there, extended family. And, you know, so I've been there about maybe 6 or 7 times in my lifetime. Real cool, laid-back place, man. It was kind of a culture shock the first time I went up there for several reasons. I'm from the South,
right.
So, you know, yeah, I'm born and raised in the South.
Right.
So the first time I went up there, Smooth, so check game, right? I had never in my life, fam, and we just chopping it up. This is a direct line interview, so, you know, we like to just have real frank, straight-up conversations with my guests. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So let me tell you what really tripped me out, bro. First time I ever went to Minneapolis. I got to tell you this story because I don't get a chance to interview a lot of people from that area, right? So
yeah,
I saw for the first time in my life a large concentration of Native Americans in the projects.
Oh yeah. They got a whole little area for them up here,
bro.
Right on Cedar, and then what's crazy, right down the street from the Native projects, they got a project complex for the Somalians. So yeah, it's a diverse city with a vast culture. Different cultures throughout the whole city, you know what I'm saying? So it's an interesting place.
It really is, man. And I was gonna bring up the Somalians next, and then I was gonna bring up the amount of interracial relationships. I was just all the way thrown off. I came up there, me and my family, my kids, you know what I'm saying? And my extended family up there was actually my son's mother when we were in a relationship together. We're not together anymore, but we still family. But when we went up there, her whole family is all interracial. Like, we were literally the only black on black couple in a whole family photo. The family photo looks like a community outreach program. You know what I'm saying? Everything about Minneapolis,
no, it's funny,
bro.
Though,
it's crazy, bro.
My guy call it the city of jungle fever, man. So it's like that up here.
Yes.
I'm actually biracial myself too. So I mean, hey, it's just part of the culture up here in Minneapolis. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, and it's so much that it's so many things that we could talk about. And when we have our direct line interviews, we definitely want to play the music, but we want to get to know the artist. Like, we want to ask you questions, that you may not get asked, all the time as far as in interviews and stuff like that. Or maybe you do, or maybe you don't.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that we brung that up. I kind of want to segue into this conversation that we're having right now in hip hop.
Yeah.
And in the culture of hip hop, most people consider hip hop quote unquote black culture, right? You feel me? And then we've recently had the beef with Drake and Pusha T. The story of 8 and 9 was actually playing right before you came on, and people are talking about Drake because he's biracial and all that. Let me ask you this: as the person that is coming from a area of the country that's super, and I mean super multicultural, like you have to actually go there to really get it. People in the South really don't get it because the South is still segregated in a lot of ways. But when you go up there, it's different. And what do you think about an artist who's biracial and when race is brought into the conversation on any level, and you have to deal with it, and you have to talk about it, and you have parents on both sides, and hip hop. If you're hip hop, you're supposed to be quote unquote ride or die black, like period. Like no matter even if your mom is white or whatever, it's like no, you black because you a rapper automatically. So forget your whole white side. You know what I'm saying? Like how do you?
Right. I mean,
tell me about that. How do you do that?
That's such a complex. Man, that's such a complex topic, and it's just so hard to be it's so broad. But I mean, for me, like most people see me, they wouldn't assume I'm biracial. Most people just assume I'm black. So I mean, and then you have artists who look at Logic and think he's white. And it's just interesting. And I guess it's because like growing up, in Minneapolis, and being biracial. It was always difficult sometimes, like especially people who, dealing with colorism, and people who's dark skinned, I'm light skinned and getting made fun of and assuming, that I'm less than or, like I'm almost like an outcast in certain aspects. So like at times, and I have another friend that's biracial as well, and we talk about this topic a lot, just how it's kind of like hard to find your place, because like I don't necessarily feel like I relate, super, I relate with the white side, with the white side, but I feel like I more so relate with the black side more closely.
Right.
But sometimes things, it's always the issue of not always being accepted because you are mixed, you are light skinned, and I guess they sometimes, the whole colorism aspect, it can almost be like you're in a tight situation, like you're in the middle, you on both sides and stuff like that. So it's just a difficult time, thing at certain points. But for me, like, man, I don't know. I don't even know how to. It's so complex and
yeah, it really
tough
is
to dig on. So it's just like, you know what I mean. Like I can't just answer it all right now.
Right.
Because how broad, how far and deep I can go with the conversation. But yeah, I mean, I guess when you bring race into things, hip hop is becoming so blended. Just with you have a lot of white artists that are starting to become very popular in hip hop as well. And are almost, doing better than, most popular black artists. So I mean, it's almost like a thing of where you seeing everything becoming gentrified, appropriated, and I mean, it's even points where I think like in the aspect us as black artists are appropriating hip hop just because of how we talk about the certain standpoints and the perspectives we have about things, even though it's coming from where we are, like what we go through daily, but it's still like we're making these things seem like this is appropriate for us to do on a daily basis. How we talk about killing each other, selling drugs, all that stuff. So in a sense, it's like it's being appropriated from all aspects when the essence of hip hop was more so about uplifting. Right. And, being a positive influence for the black community. So yeah, I mean,
right.
That's my short perspective on things. You know, like I said, we can really get deep and go in on this topic. But
no, that's actually a really excellent answer. I'm gonna give you a round of applause for it. Especially on the tail end of it. You wrapped it up with a nice bow with the last comment. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't let ourselves off the hook. As you said, you said you mostly generally identify with being black, even though you're biracial. And that tends to be the way it is. I think because you're going to get treated as such in a run-in with the law enforcement officer or anything like that. And then sometimes it's just the culture that you just gravitate to. I can't relate to that because I'm not biracial, but I have a lot of biracial friends. I know a lot of people in hip hop and they struggle with it. It's just a real frank, real raw conversation that I didn't even plan to ask you that. It was just that every time I think of Minnesota, I think of the culture shock I had when I first went there, and I'm like, am I in America still? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I was like, bruh, it is just because people think here's the thing, bro. Like, this country is huge. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't realize how huge.
The world is huge.
Yes.
And, it's outside of the country. Yeah.
Right. So, I've been overseas and I've traveled, and I realize the world is huge, but I don't think people understand how different parts of this same country can be at times. And the same. Yeah.
My bad to cut you off. I was just saying, when I went to the South, it was just not necessarily a culture shock. To me, it was just more like of a blessing to be able to see, people of color, running businesses and operating progressively, so to speak, to move forward at things. And that was just something that I'm not necessarily used to seeing in Minnesota, just because we are outnumbered here, and there's not a lot of spaces for people of color to operate and own businesses and and just be able to have our own spaces where we can feel safe and feel wanted and not have to feel like, we being looked down upon. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
So that was a great thing that I really enjoy about when I go to the South. I get to see that more often than when I'm up north in Minneapolis.
Right. And you know what? Let me tell you a funny thing. I'm from the South, and it was still a culture shock for me the first time I came to Atlanta. Because Atlanta is like nothing. You don't see Atlanta all over the South. It's actually most places in the South is actually like how you describe Minnesota, where we're not there. We're not owning businesses. We're not doing good. We don't have whole subdivisions full of $500,000 houses and everybody's black and nobody sells drugs. That was also foreign to me the first time I came to Atlanta, Georgia. That's why I live here now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing I love about Atlanta, because I was just down there a couple months ago for a conference, like a NAA conference. It's like a conference for schools and stuff, because I work in the school system up here. And I was just down there for a conference, and man, it just was real inspiring to see black people running everything. Everywhere I went, and just all that stuff. It was great.
Yeah, definitely, man. Well, I'm definitely glad that you got a chance to chop it up with us, and we're glad that you're here. So, and we're gonna get ready to play some music, for our direct line interviews. We really like to, really get an in-depth conversation with the artists, So tell me about your path.
Yeah.
What put you on the path to hip-hop? What put you on the path to wanting to be an artist? And, how was this persona known as Real Smooth created? And what made you want to go after this passion?
I mean, I always been involved in music. Mm-hmm. Growing up, I played saxophone, the trumpet. But, once I got out of middle school and high school and stuff like that, I was more into sports and football and stuff like that, and went to college and played athletics and all that stuff. But, just how that stuff goes, man. It's not for everybody. It's a lot of politics involved, and, I just didn't have the best experience, once I started moving around to different schools. Because I went to, fresh out of high school, I went to this school called Minnesota State Mankato, and it was a predominantly white school, and I wasn't enjoying it, so I went to another school to transfer to go to an all-black school, and things just didn't work out how I wanted to, so I just left it alone and just hopped right into the music game. It was just something that I had a couple friends that was doing music,
right,
and just hanging around with them, they just got me into it. It just pretty much started out freestyling in the closet and stuff like that, and then I just started making tracks after that, and came up with the name Real Smooth. I mean, real is like actually an acronym for rebellious, educated, enlightened, liberator, and smooth is just smooth. And it's spelled with 2 O's and 2 V's. So,
all right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just hanging around people already doing music. They got me involved in it. So that's how I started.
So you're, you know, and don't, you know what? It's not really foreign for that to be the way that people actually end up getting into music. I know more people than not that actually get. I'm talking about people that end up being millionaires and being superstars who were never the person in high school ever dreaming about being a musician. They was just hanging around somebody, you feel me, who would go to the studio a lot, and all of a sudden they because
and that's exactly how it was.
Yeah, oftentimes because, you know, in this game, it's sadly so, always the most talented person in the room is not necessarily going to be the most successful. It's not that kind of industry.
Right.
But sometimes the most charismatic person in the room can, you know what I'm saying, become a superstar. You know what I mean?
That's very true.
You know, you meet charismatic people who are hanging around the talented guys and who happen to be in the studio and who was all the way live. You know, when that one exec came in the room and it was like, I love your energy. Can you rap a little bit? He can do a little something, and then all of a sudden they're on BET. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how it happens.
Yeah, it's crazy how things work out like that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, you know, tell me about though, because here's something that I didn't really. I take that back. I'm not gonna lie. I was about to tell a lie. Not a lie, but just I was about to misspeak. But because I was gonna say I didn't know anything about the independent hip hop scene in Minnesota, but that's not true because when I used to go up there, one of the family members was actually an MC, and one of them and his brother was a producer. So I actually would go up there and actually be in their studio and rock out with them while I would go up there on the family vacations and trips, and we would actually go in there. We actually cut records up there. So I knew about those guys' grinds, but we never really went out, and I never really got to see the scene of Minnesota as far as the independent hip hop music goes. How was that scene up there? How was independent music accepted and received in Minnesota? Do you guys have a lot of like opportunities up there in that area for independent artists? What's it like up there?
I mean, the resources up here are very scarce, to say the least. I mean, we do have one of the biggest independent record labels up here, being Rhymesayers, and you know, if I don't know if you're familiar with Soundset, but they throw that event, that music festival every summer, and it's an all hip hop music festival. But I mean, with Rhymesayers, they are very selective on who they choose to go with.
Right.
You know, as far as artists and talent wise, and I mean, it's kind of similar to how the demographics of the city already is. If you get what I'm saying without having to say it, but you know, forget it. Like, let's be honest. They are primarily going with white artists. You know, they have a few black artists on their roster, but for the most part, their biggest artists are white artists, white hip hop artists, and that's who they're really pushing, and that's usually who they're reaching out and, you know, accepting to be associated with.
And this is a hip hop festival.
Yes, I mean, the hip hop festival has all major acts on it. You know, from, you know, like this past year, it just had the Migos on it. Erykah Badu. Yeah, so the festival itself, they're not choosing. They choose whoever is pretty much hot that year. They always make sure they have a legend on the roster. Mm-hmm. But as far as like who they choose to put on the roster from a local standpoint,
right?
It just depends. It just depends on like the buzz that the artist in the city has, for the most part. But like I'm saying, they don't really like, they won't put like a street artist, a local street artist that has a lot of buzz in the city on Soundset, but they'll put somebody who's more like conscious or, or is not necessarily in that lane. Yeah. But they will make sure they'll go get a artist like Future, or somebody like that, and he'll be the headlining act for the festival itself. So yeah, it's just a lot of different things that play into it. It's a lot of politics, like who it's real cliquey up here. We do have a couple artists that are signed, like this artist that I'm real cool with, Jay Plaza. He's part of this group called Free Wi-Fi. Okay. They recently got signed to to Rostrum Records. This other cat named Alan Kingdom. He did a track with Kanye West called All Day. If you're familiar with that, he was on there. Okay. He's from Minnesota. Bobby Raps. He produced for The Weeknd. So we do have some artists that's from Minnesota that are in the industry doing some big things, but the resources are very limited out here, and it's more so about who you know and you know,
All right.
So it's real cliquey out there,
Well, I want to be, in all fairness, it's cliquey everywhere in the music industry. I just want to, but you know, the music industry is freaking cliquey, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's clicks in Atlanta.
Right.
I know everybody sits up there now for the 1 millionth time. Everybody likes to look down here in Atlanta and say, man, Atlanta all stick together. No, that's not fucking true. Atlanta does not all stick together. There's just a whole bunch of us. There's a whole bunch of them that do more so than other places. But then when you come down here and actually get into the mud, into the thick of it, you realize it's hate that goes on here just like everywhere else. And there's cliques and crews here just like everywhere else. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's cut that whole narrative out. You feel me? Because I think people keep saying that until they come down here and they're like, oh, I thought I'd come down here and just get on. Oh, really? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, good luck with that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, good luck with that.
I can only speak from my perspective, though, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But shout out to Brandy Wood. Carmen, what's going on? Platinum Plus PRs, checking us out. Shout out to her for plugging you in and getting this interview popping over there.
Oh, man. Yeah, thank you, for real. I really appreciate this.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Tune Jets Homes and a couple of people watching over there on social media. Shout out to our IG Live viewers and everybody over there.
Yeah, Tune Jet Home, that's my brother from the Tribe, man.
All right, shout
What's
out
up,
to him.
Man, Tribe.
Shout out to Tribe. You know what I'm saying? You can always call in and give a shout out on the air. 347-934-0966. 347-934-0966. You can hit that phone live before we get ready to get out here, and you can get a shout out. But before, man, this has been a really great, interesting conversation, but we got to play some damn music. Yeah.
You are tuned to K100 Radio, hip hop and R&B.
Of course you are. You know what it is.
K100, you bastard.
So we got this joint by you, man, called Groovy and the Hoopty, man. Tell me about this joint. I like the name already.
Groovy and the Hoopty. So, so Groovy and the Hoopty, man, to me, what my concept was, it was just paying tribute to to a woman that's really down for you and just recognize you for who you are, as a human. Not what you have materialistically, she's just there for you right now in the moment. Everything you going through, she's just accepted and she's down for the ride. So Groovy and the Hoopty is just about paying tribute to the women that believe in their counterpart, and that's just their backbone when they need it. It's all about lifting up. I tell my dogs all the time, we don't need no women holding us down. We need women lifting us up. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's about.
I like
just
that.
Paying tribute to the queens out there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's definitely, hey, I'm gonna tell you one thing. That's definitely a good lane. And one thing about it, one thing ain't changed in hip hop. Like, once, if you can get the women, everybody else gonna have to fall in line. You feel what I'm saying? We'll fall in line.
They don't got no choice, right?
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Because women, I just gotta say, I be frank. Don't get me wrong. Guys will support you, but they support you another kind of way. You know what I'm saying? But women are women, and they offer more financial support, and just they come out to your shows more in groups. Girls' night out. You know what I'm saying? When's the last time you and the fellas went and caught a concert together and sip wine? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real about it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
real good, yeah.
All right. Name of this joint is called Groovy and the Hoopty. This is Real Smooth. This is K100 Radio. This is our direct line interview. We appreciate everybody who's rocking with us. If you listen to us live right now, all right, 347-934-0966. Shout out to everybody listening to us on iTunes Radio, TuneIn Radio, if you downloaded our mobile app, and on Instagram and Facebook. Groovy and the Hoopty. Minnesota's in the building. This is Real Smooth, you dig?
You are tuned to K100 Radio, hip hop and R&B.
Turned into another episode of that 315 funk. I need the ghetto cutie with the mind of Makita. Not the diva getting ratchet with the homie Keisha. Who got her own kingdom like she the queen of Sheba. See you in my dreams, wake up, it was nice to meet ya. The vegan type who make a mean falafel with the spinach pasta. Cocoa by the kisses, in money house blessing spray. That hide the odor of the essence, cause she still care what the mama say. We sippin' Rossi on the hideaway. Her palaces, I get away. Take each other's minds to a higher way. Divine intervention in the presence of a she modest. Round of applause, it's embracing all the flaws. She know that's what make her flawless. No need for makeup when the beauty's in your makeup. Room for your take-up, I can't gas you up. This was the perfect opportune, I couldn't pass you up. Like ghetto cutie, you're looking groovy in my hoopty, and you done got on those things. The way you killing up, the way you killing up. Say ghetto cutie, you're looking groovy in my hoopty, and you done got on those things. The way you killing up, the way you killing up. Cold-blooded, run the table in some spades. Reason why she not playing no games. Down for the revolution, screaming fuck the institution. I can see that she true from the look in her eyes. Little mama wants to please be mine. Frankie Lyman on in the background, cause only fools fall in love, right? Pull up in that monster protege, but she whip it like a Porsche. Send the pictures posing in the boy shorts. Got that snapback like a ball cap. Give me all that, break her off like a Kit Kat. Make her feel that where her ribs at. So sublime when we unify. Epitomized by how she mesmerized. Recognize that a player keep it G. And even if she tries, she could never duplicate me. But these feelings are shared. Windows down, looking groovy in the hoop there. With my ghetto cutie while she roll a doobie just so she could do it. Ghetto cutie, yeah. You're looking groovy in my hoop there. And you done brought on those things. The way you killing up, the way you killing up. Say ghetto cutie, you're looking groovy in my hoop there. And you done brought on those things. The way you killing up, the way you killing up.
You are tuned to K100 Radio, Hip Hop and R&B.
All right. Yeah, that was dope, man. Groovy and a hoopty. Hold on, let me bring the homie Real Smooth back on the line before we get ready to roll up out of here, man. Real Smooth, yo, I like that joint, man. I think we adding that one to the rotation,
man,
fam. Yeah, we adding that one to the rotation.
Man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it. For real.
Nah, I'm rocking with that. Before we get ready to roll up out of here, man, if you like that song and you like Real Smooth and you want to get with him and you want to check out that record and you want to follow him, give out all your contact information there and how people can check out your music, man, all your social media information, all that stuff, bro. Give it out.
Okay, yeah. Instagram is Real Smooth, REELSMOOVV. Twitter is I am Real Smooth. Facebook, Real Smooth, REELSMOOVV. And also go like my page, man, the Deeply Rooted Tribe, man. That's my brothers. That's the movement we got popping, the Deeply Rooted Tribe. Make sure you go like that. Listen to us. You can find us on SoundCloud, Real Smooth, SoundCloud, Deeply Rooted Tribe, iTunes, Spotify, Tidal, anything. I'm all over the place, so you can just find me. It's REELSMOOVV. Holla at me.
All right, man. Really great conversation, bro. We talked about a lot of
Man,
stuff.
thank you for having me.
Yeah, we talked about a lot of stuff. So if you missed any parts of this interview, you already know how we do over here at K100 Radio, man. Everything goes up over there on our SoundCloud, also on our YouTube page. So let me just remind everybody, man. Like this whole broadcast and this whole platform, it's all about helping out these independent artists. So like if you was over there, find yourself bobbing your head to that song, and this brother just gave out his information, yo, go over there and give him a follow on social media. Like independent artists need follows. Like, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to go over there and like every post or whatever.
Right.
They need these numbers, even though this really shouldn't matter. It's just the way the game is played now in these industries and these labels and stuff. They start looking at these analytics. You know what I'm saying? Let's analytics and start looking at people's numbers and social media and streams and stuff. And so go ahead, if you're on Spotify, you're already paying for it. If you're not, shuffling or whatever, add a link to a playlist or something, or subscribe to a channel. You feel me? Go to SoundCloud, like that, share it on your social media. This is what this is all about. So if you're over here checking out some music by Real Smooth and you thought that was dope, man, the whole point is the follow-up. Like, this is great that you're watching it right now, but the follow-up is what the artists need. You feel me? We just trying to be the conduit for you guys.
Follow-up. Just spread love, man. Just show love. You'll get it back. I promise you.
Absolutely,
It's all about positivity.
Yeah. All right, Real Smooth. I appreciate you for rocking with us, man. Be easy out there, man, in the Minnesota streets.
Oh, yeah, man. I'm chilling. I ain't got to worry about nothing, man.
All right, man. Groovy and the hoopty.
Thank you again, man. Thank y'all for having me. I really, really appreciate it. For real. This was a good time.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
For sure. All right. Next up, you dig? Don't go nowhere. Y'all pause.
You are tuned to K100 Radio, Hip Hop and R&B.
we got a double dose for you today. All right, we got a double